Very good afternoon, everyone. We'll just wait for a couple of minutes till everyone joins in. Okay, I guess we have everyone, so we can start off. Once again, a very good afternoon to all of you, and we're all super excited to be here with each one of you. And thank you for joining us for this amazing conversation that we're going to have today at the brink of the start of this new ABO year, which is going to be one of the best years for us to, kickstart. We met with many of you, rather most of you, in early parts of August, wherein we had the face-to-face meetings. There were a lot of exciting announcements that were made, and there were a few areas where we got a lot of feedback from you. So today, we are here to share with you that all of this feedback has been very well, heard, and now we're also actioning that feedback. And we have with us none other than Mr. Rajneesh Chopra, the Managing Director for Amway India, who's going to share with you what is coming in store for all of us starting 1st of September. So I would now like to actually invite on this virtual microphone Rajneesh to walk you through and share these super exciting announcements. So over to you, Rajneesh.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Amrita, and a very warm welcome to all of you. Again, I'm honored and grateful to be in front of you on this Saturday, which is pretty much the second last day of the month of August, and we are starting off a new performance year coming 1st September, which is Monday. And, as Amrita was talking about it, we started off talking to all of you in the first week of August. We did face-to-face meetings, and we went over to 30 locations. We met many, many of you. And as a result of those face-to-face meetings, we created a different level of energy and excitement all around. And what we want to talk about today is the feedback that we got from some of the face-to-face meetings. But I also want to talk about some of the changes that are coming in and what those changes look like and what those enhancements are going to look like. So first of all, I again want to start by saying thank you for taking out the time. I know you're getting close to the month end, and each one of you has your goals to complete. But what I want to share with you right now is going to be very, very exciting. The positive feedback that we heard at face-to-face meetings was the cornerstone, which I keep talking about, was partnership. From last face-to-face meeting to now, our partnership results have gone up 12 percentage points. The Amway leadership messaging was up by about 11 percentage points. The simplified business that we talked about at face-to-face meetings, the actions on unauthorized selling, simplifying the ABO registration, the new entry model, and discontinuing the 3PC rule, which many of you applauded and wrote to me. And by the way, I welcome you writing to me and sharing your feedback. And I sincerely appreciate you taking the time that you did to share with me. And the simplified monthly retail rule, which is none other than the differential rule, it was also simplified further. The annual sales criteria change. We talked about all of these things. Rewarding ABO leader compensation and NCAs. The fact that we are able to take our trip overseas, we are working towards our journey of A70, the family diamond invitational trips that we talk about, the Amway leadership seminar, and so on. The revamped new platinum forum and scale up of Gurukul physical meetings and store engagement. So let me just kind of reinforce and reiterate what I heard from many, many of you. First of all, there was a clear roadmap for new people. the way the ALS trip video was structured was elegant, exciting. The decision to replace 5,000 rupees fixed structure with 25, 50 PV slabs was extremely practical. Introduction of Amway Achievers, Newtlite Achievers Club, and the Artistry Achievers Club was really the right work ethics and consistency that we need to build. The Kurukul initiative and structured rollout of the tools and kits, and the fact that we are co-creating a lot of these things together was very, very powerful. And above all, the open acknowledgement that went out from myself and the team about how we will work with real transparency with all of you, and ensuring that we are having this two-way conversation constantly. So I think this was a combination of, as what I call as logic, responsibility, but most importantly, art and science coming together through our fundamentals and reaching to you at our face-to-face meetings. What I also heard was some of the other feedback, which was, hey, you know what? We heard about the loyalty program. We are very excited about it. It was very energizing. We need to know more. We need to understand the details of the program. You guys didn't share the details of the program, which we did not. And that's what you're going to hear about today. The team has been doing tremendous amount of good work to bring to life to you today and unpack the two key things that we talked about, which was SSI and loyalty program. So I also heard about Strong Start incentive from many of you, which was like 150 PV is a very difficult start for a new ABO. And how are you kind of changing the qualification in the middle of somebody's who's already tracking? And I heard this from many of you. So these were the two things that we took to our heart, and we have been working for the last two to 3 weeks uh, post the face-to-face feedbacks, also accumulating feedback from all of you across different geographies. It has been my commitment, and it will always be my commitment that we will work together in a very strong bond of partnership. And that partnership was truly seen in action as we were collecting this feedback and working through many of these things. I think it is very, very important for you to know that every single employee of Amway India is working towards your success, is working towards your family's success, and towards your Amway business's success. And that is paramount to each one of us. So as we heard all of this feedback, I also heard that some of the initial face-to-face meetings were too long, 3 hours, 20 minutes. And we did make some changes to the subsequent face-to-face meetings, but I still felt that we could have delivered it in much lesser time. And it makes it easier for you to duplicate and replicate and get scale on that. And so we did that. Going forward, it's my commitment that we're going to be sharp, and we are going to be effective in our delivery to ensure that we value your time and ensure that our delivery is on the same. As we create the excitement and energy around the journey map of Amway journey, what that looks like, the Strong Start incentive and the loyalty program come together. The programs are talking to each other. What you're going to see right now is single journey. And so you're not explaining two Amways, or you're not explaining three Amways, or four Amways, or five Amways to new people. You're talking about one Amway. You're talking about one journey. The Strong Start incentive builds habits. The loyalty rewards consistency. And we are creating this journey, which is again very, very important for you to know, is about the new journey, the activation, the SSI, and the loyal ABO. And that's the journey that we are going to be talking to you today about. So again, it's one Amway journey from starting out to standing out. And in Hindi, I would say it, शुरुआत se safalta tak. Stage one is Strong Start incentive, building habits, ensures the new person's success, new ABO wins, is profitable, is doing the right thing. Stage two comes in the loyalty, where we reward consistency and profitable structure towards a healthy Q month. And so again, to reinforce, SSI is to provide rock solid foundation. Loyalty is to provide profitable and sustainable growth for all of you. We talked about, I've talked about with the councils as well as all of you about how we were operating in the past with discounting of our products and giving offers and all that. And all of those were landing up on unauthorized selling. And we put a stop to that. But when we did that, we needed to come back to you with a very strong, robust program, similar to how we build Team Neutralite, similar to how we build Artistry Achievers Club. So all of that is going to come together in front of you in just a few minutes. And I can tell you again, when I talked about SSI, the 150 PV, that programming was already done. So my kudos to our team when I challenged them to go back and relook at all of that, the work that they put in, and we have a new program that we're going to present to you today. So why does it matter to you? It matters to you because clarity is very, very important. I always believe in, and I always say, provide everyone clarity. One path, no confusion. It brings confidence. It gives early wins and bigger and better recognition. Community. We talk about community. Being part of Achievers Club. It's such a very powerful thing. And recognition. Who we record, who we reward, who we recognize, when we recognize, how we recognize is very, very important. And that is about building credibility. So this is how you would see the journey being mapped out, which is moving from SSI to the loyalty program to a Q month. This is the profitable and sustainable business. Again, the important things for this slide that is in front of you for you to see is you are moving in a strong start. You're moving a new person in a very strong manner through SSI. You're building loyalty through your loyalty program, and you're leading them towards profitable Q months. And hence, the pathway to Founders Platinum is becoming clearer and bigger and better. So what we heard from you, difficult criteria, 150 PV, right? And I heard that loud and clear. Uninspiring, same reward for higher effort, right? Unfair. You might have changed rules for some people who are already tracking for SSI as per your late criteria. And this might lead to the behavior that we are trying to discourage. This might lead to more unauthorized selling. So how do we ensure that this does not lead to rewarding behavior or rewarding people who do not deserve the reward? So what we heard from you, and here's what I have to present to you. There will be no change in reward for those who have already started SSI. I'll pause there. Again, repeat it again. There'll be no change in reward for those who already started SSI. New qualifiers starting with new reward structure starting from September 1 of 2025. Post the strong start incentives, ABOs can now handhold and migrate to the attractive loyalty program, which is going to be, again, a very powerful program for all of you to not only look at, digest, and inspire your teams to be participating in that. So what does September 25 to August 26 look like? Building a strong, loyal customer base. Again, I've said it before, your best new ABOs will come from your loyal customers. And that hasn't changed, has not changed ever in the history of all our businesses in our company. Start early, stay consistent. That is how you enable the new ABO success. We provide the program Strong Start Incentive provides you flexibility in selling. You can go from any product category. Multiple orders are allowed. So a lot of flexibility in this entire program. There's also flexibility in starting. Apart from the month of joining, you have 2 additional months to start your SSI tracking. So what happens to new trackers? So new trackers starting from 1st September, as they complete their first 3 months consistency, they will be earning rupees 2,000 award. This is over and above the other sales and marketing plan. Then they complete their next 3 months consistency, they get additional 4,000 rupees. Then they complete their other 3 months consistency, they get another additional 6,000. Fourth, 3 months consistency, additional 8,000. all totaling up to 20,000 rupees. And the customer sales requirement reduced from INR 12,750 to INR 8,500. So it's higher rewards for longer consistency. This is for people who are going to be start tracking from 1st September 2025. What happens to people who are already tracking and who you have already communicated to? Nothing changes for them. First 3 months consistency, 3,000. Second 3 months consistency, 5,000. The next 3 months, 7,000. Fourth 3 months consistency, 10,000. And they get to earn 25,000 rupees. And this is fabulous, right? This is really, really fabulous. As you can see, we listen to you, and we are bringing this back at the same level of effort that you talked to me about, many of you talked to me about. And this is going to give you a phenomenal start on 1st September of 2025. Again, the goal is to start strong, make every month count with SSI consistency. You start strong, but here's where I need your help and I need your support. We need to ensure that this genuine reward goes to genuine buyers. This should not be going to people who are going to cheat you, or who are going to put it on online platforms, or who are going to sell it in stores. The only place you can buy Amway products from is an Amway business owner. And I said it and I mean it. So this is going to be up to you, along with us, to ensure that we watch this very carefully. There is going to be the full potential, stay on track and earning additional 20,000 potential starting from 1st September. Again, the key out here is consistency. You miss a month, the SSI benefits will stop, which is similar to how it is today. So in a summary, what have we done? We heard you and we acted on it right away. We have the program which was already set at 150 PV. We changed it back to 100 PV. The difficult criteria, which was also that you shared with me, we changed it, right? We brought it back. You talked about uninspiring reward. Now we kept the same effort level maintained for new qualifiers, for new ABOs. Additionally, we are bringing in a very powerful loyalty program for new and existing ABOs. And we will talk about that in just a moment. So we also heard about the fact that people who are already in the Strong Start incentive, please keep it the same effort, and reward for them should be the same. And we absolutely implemented that. And again, fair practices. I've talked about unauthorized sellers. We will put guardrails in our system which will ensure that we prevent any abuse of this Strong Start incentive going forward. And I know that I can count on each one of you as leaders in the business to ensure that you're teaching, you're training your teams to do the same. And I am very confident with your teaching, your training, this is going to be a very powerful program. And not only a program, a journey that we will map out for people. And now comes the graduation moment. And that graduation moment is really about the now stepping into the new loyalty program. So what is the loyalty program? It helps you build belief, shape behavior, but most importantly, show business continuity. Why loyalty? Loyalty, as you know from our previous programs, consistency that we drive through Team Neutralite or Artistry Achievers Club or any of the Amway programs. This will help you boost your retention. It will also provide consistency. And not only Neutralite Club and Artistry Club, what we're going to share with you today is an Amway Club. So the flexibility is going to be immense for you as you look at our loyalty program. Again, this isn't just about one plan. It's what we are designing for you is an ecosystem which will actually be better and bigger and more rewarding. With that, I absolutely want to wish you much success as you look forward to 1st September 2025. But I also know that this is on our journey to create that one crown by each state and union territory. And as I look at all of you, and I know I can get that commitment from you that that crown is going to be you from your state, from your union territory, and we will have many, many more crowns than that one that I've asked for and that one that I've committed for. So with that, I want to turn it over to Amrita to talk about our loyalty program. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you so much, Rajneesh. Thanks. So, we're all super excited, as Rajneesh said, and the vision that he has laid down actually inspires us so that we can enable you. And the goal is, one crown ambassador. So that's exactly what this loyalty program is all about. And it seamlessly integrates into both, the SSI journey for the new ABO and the core plan for our existing ABOs. And that's why this loyalty program is actually called as Naam Bhi Pehchan Bhi, because from cap to crown is the whole journey that we want you to empower and enable you with. Now, let's move ahead and understand the specific details of how this loyalty program is going to be taken forward. The feedback that we got from you for previous programs was we need to drive simplicity, we need to drive flexibility, and also definitely profitability. And that's how, based on the learnings that we have from Team Neutralite, from Artistry Achievers Club, what we've tried to do is curate three different clubs, which we announced in the face to face. Now, let's understand the specific details and how these clubs are going to be taken forward. Let's start with the first one, the most awaited Neutralite Achievers Club. Now, as we know, there are three tiers in both the Neutralite Achievers Club as well as the Artistry Achievers Club. Now, what these tiers are about, when we talk of Neutralite, I think it's a matter of pride because we don't just talk about the world's number one dietary supplements brand, which is plant based, but we also share wellness and spread wellness. That's what we are all messengers of. And based on those lines, inspiring that wellness, we've actually created three tiers. So tier one is all about achieving, the 100 points, the 100 PV. Tier 2 is 200 and 300. But this is more for your consumption. As we roll out this program, we will be talking the language of business volume. So business volume per month in each phase, and each phase will have a cumulative of 4 months. So it's a bundle of 4 months that will be there in phase one, which starts from 1st September till 31st December 25. Phase 2 is all about Jan to April, 4 months in 2026. And phase 3 is all about May to August 2026. Now, in each of these bundles of 4 months, we have to actually do a business volume per month of 8,500 for tier 1, 17,000 for tier 2, and 25,500 for tier 3. And once you actually do this, and based on the qualifying criteria, you then get your reward. So that's how the entire program has been designed for a 12-month period, but in three phases. And there are basically 4 months in every phase. Now, let's go to understanding Artistry Achievers Club. Now, Artistry Achievers Club also has a similar construct. So there are three tiers here. And we have tier 1, 2, and 3, which fundamentally means it starts at 100 PV, 200, and 300. But as I said, when we roll out the program, this is more for your consumption. But when you discuss with your teams, we need to make them understand that it's all about the business volume per month in each phase. And for the first phase, it's 8,500, which is tier 1 per month. And each phase has got 4 months. Then we have tier 2, which is 17,000, and tier 3, which is 25,500. Each phase has 4 months. You do that 4 months, and per month you achieve this business volume multiplied by the 4 months, and you complete 4 months. Now, this is how this program also would be run for a period of 12 months. Now, let's look at something even more exciting. So we heard you and the feedback that you've given, and we have the Neutralite Achievers Club and the Artistry Achievers Club. But there are many of our ABOs who actually want to do beyond that, which means to say that we will now have the Amway Achievers Club, which is very, very inclusive. And why do we say so? Because here you need to do 70 to 80% either from Neutralite or Artistry, but you can do 20 to 30% from other categories, which means to say you can also contribute from personal care, from home care, from other beauty. So all the other categories will also enable you to contribute to a totality for this Amway Achievers Club. What takes it even one step higher is that the Amway Achievers Club aligns very well with a core plan. As we know, the core plan is all about the foundation levels and the 3, 6, and 9. Now, this Amway Achievers Club actually enables an ABO and empowers the ABO to achieve the core plan, because here, when we talk about the three tiers, unlike in case of the Neutralite and the Artistry Achievers Club, here the three tiers are 200, 400, and 600 points, which means to say a business volume per month of 17,000, 34,000, and 51,000. And this perfectly aligns with the 3%, which is basically the 200 points. And then it helps one to go up to the 6%. And the tier 2 is a stepping stone between the 3 and the 6. So this is how we want to empower and enable more and more ABOs to actually get on to these programs. And this is how, again, here we have three phases of four, a bucket of 4 months each in every phase. Now let's look at what's going to happen as one gets into each of these clubs. So you are empowered to join any one of these clubs, which is the Neutralite, Artistry, or the Amway Club, or you can join 2 clubs or even 3 clubs. So this is the flexibility that we are actually working with here based on your feedback. Now coming to the most exciting part, which I think everyone has been waiting for. The wait is finally over. So we will now explain to you the rewards redemption process. There is all optionality and flexibility that's being provided in the way in which you enroll into the program and also the way in which you redeem those rewards. And of course, there are going to be terms and conditions, as we said at the start of this meeting, that all of these clubs will have several qualifying criteria and the terms and conditions. But today in this meeting, we are announcing the construct of the program, and then we will have the account managers who will be sitting with you and your entire team to walk you through the details and ensure that each and every ABO understands the meaning of the qualifying criteria and also the terms and conditions. Now, there are two ways in which you can redeem the rewards. The first option is a phase-wise redemption, and the second option is a cumulative phase-wise redemption. Let me explain this to you. So let's start with the first one, which is Neutralite Achievers Club. Now, there are three options in which you can redeem. So the first option for redeeming is tier 1. When we say tier 1 or tier 2 or tier 3, what happens is if I'm an ABO and if I want to go for phase 1, which is of a bucket of 4 months, and if I'm irrespective of whether I've chosen tier 1, 2, or 3, I can redeem my reward if I complete the qualifying criteria at the end of these 4 months. And for tier 1 in phase 1, the reward is a neck pillow plus a resistant band set. In tier 2, as part of phase 1, there's a BMI scale, and in tier 3 in phase 1, there's a smartwatch. Now let's say I do this and I go to my phase 2, which is another 4 months period clubbed together for phase 2. So what happens as part of tier 1 is, in addition to whatever I have redeemed in phase 1, in phase 2, if I complete the qualifying criteria, I am eligible to claim a pair of memory foam pillow. In tier 2, it's about dumbbells, and tier 3, as part of phase 2, it's a wireless headphone set. So this is what happens when I decide to take my phase 2. Now let's say I've completed my phase 1 and phase 2. I have reached my last phase, which is the phase 3, which is again 4 months clubbed together as part of the last phase. Now in tier 1, I can go for a posture corrector. In tier 2, I can go for a combination of a wedge cushion and a posture corrector. And in tier 3, I can go for a blender. Now, this is super interesting why these rewards have been designed in this manner. One, it provides you optionality and flexibility. Also, if you very carefully observe the kind of rewards that we're talking about here, they are all business building tools actually. These are related to the business of health and well-being for Neutralite, and that's what Neutralite stands for. So these actually tools, these rewards will enable you to actually move people towards their health and well-being journey. And that's the goal for us. That's what we want to achieve. Now, what we will do is we look at the option 2, It was part of Neutralite Achievers Club. Let's say I'm an ABO. I completed my tier 1 or tier 2 or tier 3 as part of phase 1, which means the first phase of 4 months. But I decide that I don't want to claim my rewards right now. I want to accumulate my rewards. So what happens is then I go to the phase 2 and I would like to accumulate and redeem both phase 1 and phase 2 together. Then I get a bigger and a better reward, which is even more linked to my journey of health and well-being and how I will transform the lives of other ABOs or my customers. So I can go for a gear cycle as part of tier 1. Tier 2 is a mattress stopper and tier 3 is a foot massager. So this is all again a part of phase 2. Now let's say I'll give you another scenario that I am an ABO who has done my phase 1 and also my phase 2, either as tier 1, tier 2 or tier 3 as part of the Neutralite Club. But I say that I don't want to redeem my rewards. I want to accumulate both phase 1 and phase 2. So now we are talking of a scenario wherein I accumulate both phase 1 and phase 2 and then I'll get even bigger rewards in phase 3, which means to say this is a cumulative of phase 1, 2 and 3. As part of tier 1 in this, I get an ergonomic chair. As part of tier 2, I get an air bike. And as part of tier 3, I get a treadmill. Now, isn't this super exciting? Because this is how you are going to enable and empower more and more ABOs to transform the lives of other people. So this is how, and all of these rewards and business building tools have been curated based on feedback from our leaders, from all of you. Because as part of our discussions and co-creation sessions, we actually created a roadshow with 150 such, rewards. And we took feedback to understand what is it that will help you in building your business. So this is all about the two options we spoke about for Neutralite Achievers Club. This is not it. We have the third option for you, which is a total surprise. If you have chosen the tier 3, which means 300 PV per month for every month of the year for all 12 months, you then have the option not to redeem your rewards in phase 1, 2 or 3, but you will be invited for a very special recognition event at the end of 12 months. So if you are a part of tier 3 and if you wish to accumulate your rewards, there is a fantastic opportunity for you to be recognized, and that's what is all the Naam Bhi Pehchan Bhi initiative all about. Now let's go to Artistry Achievers Club. Similar to Neutralite Achievers Club, you have three tiers here which are starting at 100, 200 and 300 PV. As I said, as we roll out this initiative, we will be talking the language of business volume per month for each phase of 4 months. So 100 PV fundamentally means 8,500 and the second tier is 17,000 and the third tier is 25,500. Now what happens is option 1 we are talking about, wherein I complete my 4 months phase 1 and in tier 1 I am eligible for a jade gua sha and roller. If I complete my tier 2 as part of phase 1, I have an optionality even here now, even within this option 1, which means I can either go for a sonic facial brush and massager or a beginner face yoga certification program. And then in tier 3, I can go for a facial toolkit and travel case. Now, if I actually complete my phase 2, then in tier 1, I can claim my cleanser massager, which perfectly goes in alignment with the regimen of AMPM that we're trying to build, and cleansing is the first step of the regimen. So you see how each of these rewards has been totally curated to build your business in alignment with brand building and business building. Now let's go to tier 2. We have a face lifting device, or you can go for an advanced face yoga certification. And then tier 3, we have a face massager and lifting device. Again, here you will see a synergy between how you will build the regimen of artistry, and each of these devices will enable you to do so. Then we go for phase 3. Now as part of phase 3, in tier 1, you have a branded sling bag. In tier 2, there are two options, which you have a men and women's wallet combo, or you can go for an expert face yoga certification. Now I want to pause here before I go to the next reward and tell you, if you see in tier 2, you have two options. One, you can go for a face yoga certification, and between the three phases, you can get 3 levels of certification, which is beginner, advanced and expert. Or you can go for a regular reward. Now, what I want to communicate to you here is, imagine if you do tier 2 and phase 3, you actually get certified as an expert face yoga trainer, which means to say you can actually train your entire LOS And that will be a big part of your business building activation, because the face yoga that you learn will complement the entire regimen of artistry and how that helps us from the signs of aging perspective. Then we go to tier three, which is branded bags, a combination set of a sling bag and a handbag. So that's as part of phase three. This is not it. This is only option one of the Artistry Achievers Club. Now let's go to the option two. What is the meaning of option two? It's accumulation. What that means is, if I have completed my phase one in tier one, two, or three, but I want to accumulate my points and I want to go to the next phase and then redeem them. Then I can redeem my rewards. So I want to accumulate both phase one and phase two. And therefore, in tier one, I can go for a sonic facial roller. Tier two, I can go for a facial massager and travel kit. And tier three, I can go for a LED face mask. If now there is another scenario, if I am an ABO, I don't want to redeem in phase one or even phase two. I say, show me an option that I want to accumulate both phase one and phase two. And then I want to go for a bigger and better reward, which helps me to build my business even more. So then I accumulate all three phases and I go for, in tier one, an LED face mask with advanced light tech, or tier two, I go for facial massager, or tier three, I go for branded hair styling tools. So now you will see how this program drives simplicity, flexibility, optionality, ultimately to drive profitability for you. Now, the even more exciting part, as we said in case of Neutralite Achievers Club, even in Artistry Achievers Club, if you belong to tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3, and you complete the qualifying criteria across phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, you are eligible to be invited for a special recognition event at the end of 12 months. And again, here it is about recognizing you for all your efforts. So, this is how we have built up the optionality of claiming your rewards both for the Neutralite and the Artistry Achievers Club, and there are three options each. Now we'll come to the Amway Achievers Club. And there are two options here that we would like to share with you. If I am completing my phase one, either as part of tier 1, 2, or 3, let's see what happens. So in tier 1, in phase 1, I get a cordless iron. In tier 2, if I complete the qualifying criteria as per phase 1, I can go for a vacuum cleaner. And tier 3, I can go for a 48-piece dinner set. So this is what it means for phase 1. This is the option 1. In phase 2, as part of tier 1, it's an electric kettle with a steamer. In tier 2, phase 2, it's a 3-in-1 mixer juicer grinder. In tier 3 and phase 2, it's a food processor. Now, I also have the phase 3. So in tier 1, I can go for an induction plate. In tier 2, I can go for a Bluetooth speaker. And tier 3, an oven toaster grill. So you see optionality, optionality, and optionality in phase 1, 2, and 3 across all the three tiers. Now I'll come to the second option, the cumulative phase-wise redemption option. So in tier 1 or tier 2 or 3 as part of Amway Achievers Club, if after completing phase 1, I accumulate my points and I go for phase 2, then in tier 1, I can go for garment steam iron. In tier 2, I can go for gas burner. In tier 3, I can go for a food processor. Now, if I accumulate all my options basically of phase 1, 2, and 3, then I can actually go for home theater, microwave, fully automatic washing machine. So this is tier 1, 2, and 3. So this is how one can actually have the optionality and the flexibility to accumulate rewards and go for either phase-wise rewards or cumulative across phase 1 and 2 or phase 1, 2, and 3. And in case of Neutralite and Artistry Achievers Club, at the end of 12 months, you have a recognition event, and that is another option, option 3, that you can go for. And there will obviously be, a lot of qualifying criteria, terms and conditions. As I said, the account managers will be sitting with you and your teams, and please feel free to reach out to us so that we can share with you, guide with you, and we can ensure that you have complete clarity before you go ahead and sit down with your teams. So as Ranish also highlighted, this time what we've come back to you with, keeping you at the center. The whole one single Amway journey has been created, an end-to-end journey, strong start with SSI and strong completion with loyalty, which actually builds a strong foundation across 3, 6, and 9 and moves you ahead in the journey, going up to the leadership level. So this is how, this whole integrated journey will enable us to see a very, very good, fantastic 2025-26. So this entire initiative of SSI and loyalty coming together is launching from 1st September 2025 and will go up to 31st of August 2026. We are very confident with Naam Bhi Pehchan Bhi. It will motivate, enable, and educate and empower you and your teams so that every ABO who starts the SSI journey will one day walk the stage with loyalty. And that becomes the One Amway journey. So, this is how we come to the end of this presentation. We thank you so much for spending your afternoon with us. And on behalf of the entire Amway India team, we look forward to working with you so that we want to ensure that you understand all the terms and conditions and the qualifying criteria. And then you can, motivate your teams to go for it, whether it's option one or option two or option three, whether it is all three clubs or two clubs or one club, whichever ways you feel that you can drive the business. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll connect with you soon.